Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Study Sociology. So today we will be covering on the topic Sociological Imagination. So before jumping into the topic, I would like to give you a list of contents. That is, it will contain definitions, examples and conclusion. So coming to the definition, what is sociological imagination? According to C.Wright Mills, sociological imagination is the application of imaginative thought to the asking and answering of sociological questions. The sociological imagination involves thinking oneself away from the familiar routines of life. Next, how can we understand this concept in a deeper point of view? So, studying sociology is not a book knowledge that one acquires in day-to-day academic life. A sociologist has to break the barriers from the personal perspectives and look into the wider context. So, in order to look into a different point of view, Mills says that we need to think ourselves away from the daily routines of life. Now, how can we compare this or put this in a day-to-day life activity? So, let's look into an example. The most famous example I could provide, that is drinking a cup of coffee. So how can we look into drinking a cup of coffee into different perspectives? So firstly, it could be just an act of refreshment. This has a value in our daily life activities. A fresh cup of morning coffee is often one's centerpiece in starting the day. So morning coffee can also be followed later in the day with others, which forms the basis of a group, not just an individual ritual. So secondly, a cup of coffee is often a source of interaction. In all societies, drinking and eating is often associated to social interaction. Hence, two people meeting on a cup of coffee is probably more interested in chatting and getting together than actually what they drink. Now, thirdly, we can also look into the drinking of a cup of coffee from this point of view, that coffee contains caffeine. So, it has a drug that stimulates the brain and is often associated to lift the mood and after a long stretching day. So, hence, coffee is a habit-forming substance, but coffee addicts are not considered drug users. It is a socially accepted drug, unlike any other drug abuse or alcohol. So sociologists are interested in why these differences exist and how they came about. Now, fourthly, drinking a cup of coffee often leads to a complex set of social and economic relationships across the world. It connects to the wealthiest and the most impoverished in the world. So coffee is one of the most valuable commodities in international trade, providing many countries with their largest source of foreign exchange. The production, transportation, and distribution of coffee requires continuous transactions between people thousands of miles away from the coffee drinker. Studying such global connections is an important task for sociologists today. Now, in the fifth point of view, we can also look into like sipping a cup of coffee presumes a long process of economic and social development. Although the drink has originated in the Middle East, its mass consumption dates from the period of Western expansion more than 200 years ago. Virtually all the coffee we drink today comes from areas such as South America and Africa that were colonized by Europeans. It is not natural part of the Western diet. Now, sixthly, coffee is on the current debates about globalization, international fair trade, human rights, and environmental destruction. Coffee has become branded and politicized. The decisions made by the consumers rely on the kind of coffee they drink, and where to buy becomes lifestyle choices. Some people drink only organic coffee, decaffeinated coffee, or coffee that is fairly traded through schemes that pay the full market price to small producers in developing countries. Others patronize independent coffee houses rather than corporate chains such as Starbucks and Costa. For sociologists, the apparently trivial act of drinking coffee could hardly be more fascinating. Now, to make you think more deeply on this concept and so that you understand how you can relate this in your day-to-day life activities or what more research you can do on this topic, I would give you a question that we will be discussing in the beginning of the next lecture. So for you to think and do some research, what do you think will have the possible behavioral changes due to the sociology of coffee? So you can list some possible responses and send me in the comment box, and we can discuss this in the next lecture. So that's it, and thank you very much. If you like this type of content and if you like my teaching or the lecture, kindly subscribe and press the bell icon for the next